Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. Today we're talking about how Cam Thomas wants to re-sign with the Brooklyn Nets as the stud shooting guard who only played 25 games this year due to some crazy injuries, and had injuries all year. He came back from it, but in March, it was announced mid-March that he was going to miss the rest of the year due to a hamstring strain. But there were injuries before that for Cam Thomas. He came back from them, but then the hamstring strain happened. But it was a great season for him. 25 games, 23 starts, 31 minutes per game, 24 points per game. Most points per game he's had in a season. Also the most assists per game. Had 4 assists per game this year, and it's the most assists per game he's had in a season of his career as well. Shot 35% from 3 on 8 attempts. But it was he had a bigger role this year, with them losing Mikal Bridges or them trading away Mikal Bridges. But that was the same thing for Cam Johnson. But Cam Johnson played a lot more than Cam Thomas did. But so he was on a CBS News channel that is in Virginia today. I don't know what for. I just saw the clip of Cam Thomas talking about going back to Brooklyn. I don't know for what reason. I mean, he's an NBA player. There's many reasons why he could have been on a. Now he is, he was raised in Virginia. So that that is one of the reasons why he was on a. I think that being his, where he was raised, not where he was born, was one of the reasons why he was in Virginia. I don't know why he went on the news channel for CBS, but this was one. Of course, if you have a guy that is a free agent on your channel, you're gonna ask him what potentially going back to Brooklyn, and so they asked him about potentially going back to Brooklyn. He said, "It's a situation I really can't control. He will leave it up to his agents and the front office, but he definitely wants to be back in Brooklyn. It's home." He said, "It's home for me being drafted there, and he has built a bond with a lot of people." He said, "I definitely love being there, but you have to do what's best. You have to do what's best for you, in the business aspect, but I definitely want to be back in Brooklyn for sure." So I think for Brooklyn, the major priority, I think, this offseason has to be re-signing Cameron Thomas. I think they're probably open to maybe trading Cam Johnson or trading Nick Claxton potentially. Or possibly maybe the 8th overall pick if they have to. I think that's probably a pick that Brooklyn wants to keep. But I think Brooklyn, a priority for them is going to be re-signing Cam Thomas. I think there's going to be a lot of moves that Brooklyn makes this offseason. I think it's going to be a very interesting offseason to watch what Brooklyn does because, they have a lot of guys that are free agents. Cam Thomas is one of them. D'Angelo Russell, who they got for Dorian Finney-Smith, is another guy that's a free agent. They've got many free agents. They've got a couple guys that they could look to trade. They've got one of the most, decked out draft picks, in the league. You look at OKC. The draft picks that they have are great. They have a lot of draft picks. But I think Brooklyn's in that conversation of one of the teams that has a lot of great draft picks with OKC. I think you look at OKC, you look at Houston, you look at San Antonio, 3 teams like that. They have a lot of draft picks and a lot of great draft picks. I think Brooklyn is in that conversation as well. So they're in the position to make a big trade if they want to with all the draft picks they have. I don't know if they do it. We know they wanted to make a move for Kevin Durant, and there was talks about a potential 3-team deal between the Nets, the Nets, Minnesota, and Phoenix, but KD shut that down quick. But I think this could be a very interesting offseason for the Brooklyn Nets. I'd keep an eye on them. But Cam Thomas, I think, is going to be one of the priorities for the Brooklyn Nets to re-signing him. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.